Alright guys, one more tool in the tool chest. Here we go. What we're going to be looking at here is another condition that we get to use in our where clause called between. So we can add that to our notes too. And it's part of the condition in the where clause. And it acts a little bit like in that it's a special case. But what it will do is compare a field to a range of values. A numerical range of values, rather. Although I think you might be able to do this with strings too. I'm not sure, I haven't really tried it. But the table we're going to use is to show how this works is the order item table. And remember, first step of working with SQL queries is that you need to understand the data. So these are the orders, these are the items that were ordered in this order, how many of them, how much the item was, and the extended price is something we'll get into later. It's price times quantity is the extended price, or basically a total for the item. So 4 $50 items is a $200 total. But I digress. So looking at this information is well and good, but what if I wanted to extract some information from this? For example, what are my mid-range price items? Like, for example, I can say, I want to know what items I have that are between $100 and $200. Well, I can look at this data and tell you it's this one, because there are only 8 records and it's easy to look at the data and go, oh, it's that one. But SQL is used for small companies as well as big, and remember that in a retail company, or especially in a very large company such as Amazon, you could be looking at a table with millions and millions and millions of records in it. So that's not really something you're going to want to scroll through for days and weeks as a raw number cruncher. That's no fun. So what we're going to learn about is the SQL function between, and it goes in a where clause. So let's start looking at making a query for this. And remember, the request was, I want to know what my items are that are that go for $100 to $200. Well, there are 2 ways to go about this, and I'm going to do the conventional way first. Select star from order item, because that's the table we're working with. It's important as we go through these examples to not forget what these clauses are for. I'm going to do where, because we want specific information from this table, not just everything. And we could say where the price is greater than 100 or the price is less than 100. And we're digressing here a little bit, but this is an important example of the difference between and or rather less than 200. I want my items where they're between $100 and $200. And that looks like what this should give me, right? Well, let's see what this does. Well, this looks like everything. Yep, sure looks like everything. So why did we get everything? Well, because we used the wrong condition here. Where the price is greater than 100, okay. So that's these 3. Or the price is less than 200. Well, I can't exclude this one. That's these 4. But because I specified or, either of them had to be true to show up. So it literally gave me all of the listings where the price was greater than 100 and all the ones where it was less than 200, which was pretty much everything. If I want to make sure that it has to be between greater than 100 and less than 200, I have to use the and clause. So that should just be this item. Let's run it, see what we get. Yay! Isn't it nice when SQL works for you? So let's go back to SQL view. Now there is another clause that we use for this. We've already talked about between. Here's where we're going to use it. Just like in, how we used in to compare a single field against a list of values, between works in a similar fashion. So we do where price, because that's the field we're comparing it to, between 100 and 200. What between expects is a number, the word and then another number. That is what between is expecting. So you could see between 50 and 5,000. As long as it's between number and number, that's between will work for you. Now it's important to realize also that between will include the end caps. And what I mean by that is if I say where the price is between 100 and 200, if I have any items where the price is 100 or the price is 200, it'll give me those as well. So I run it, I still get my 130. So let's try, I'm going to add something to this table. 202,000. We bought one of those. It was $100. And that's in my table now. If I run my between query again, I should get that. Yeah, there's the item I added because it was $100. So it's important to realize that between will include the end caps. This is one of those attention to detail things that can come and bite you. If I say I want it where it's greater than 100 and less than 200, and you use between, it should be between 101 and 199. So that's between, and we're going to learn. The next lesson is going to cover one last function for this week, and it's a little complicated one, but it's very powerful. See you there.